Hello everybody, Van Berman here, and welcome to another RPG Maker VX Ace tutorial. Today I'm going to start with fundamentals of map making. So this is just a very basic episode of some stuff that I've learnt while trying to make maps and things to start off with. And I will do other episodes on individual styles of maps. So we'll be doing one about dungeons, interior design, exterior design, and probably a world map as well. But today I'm just going to go through the basics and talk about how you might consider making your map, and basically go through what's already in the system for you. So I've done a really bad hello here, but this is just the section for my tutorial videos. So we're going to start by actually loading up this, which is the sample map menu. Now you might think, oh no, you're cheating because you're using sample maps. Well, yes. Yes and no. Because the great thing about these is that you can take them and modify them. That's a great way of getting into doing maps, or doing your map, whatever you want to use it for. I'm not going to show you any examples within my game of which I've used them. Mainly because some of them haven't made adjustments to, they're just in there as placeholders. But, you can take any one of these that is close to what you want to have in your game, and then make changes to it. So, let's find one that I can actually use. Alright, so for example, the tent interior. Okay, it's a very basic design, and it's done for you. You might be using a tent, obviously, and, the walls, like a tent, assuming it's a white tent, you might have to find one with different colours and things. But, the base of it is correct. And the great thing about this is you can then just make different changes. Now remember, when you're on the map editing, you got to make sure you're on there rather than events. Right click on any tile, and that will then put it into the palette for you. So I can quickly go and remove these beds if I don't want these beds at all. And this is a great way to help you customize one which is already in, so the basic outline is already built for you, but then you for example, get the option to add stuff in. And that can be a good way to start off making your maps, and it gives you a good idea of what sort of things you'd want to put in. Now actually I will show you an example from my game. Not this one. I made this one entirely by myself, and it's very cluttered. One which I may and probably will end up changing quite a bit, but that was my first attempt at doing one in VX Ace, so it's not amazingly bad. But alright, for example here, I need to zoom out. So this is the sample map, which is the Lost Forest. So at the minute I'm looking for a map which will take the character through a forest to get to a cave entrance. Now, as you can see, this one is a little bit special because, you can go off one side and come out on the other. Mine isn't, as complicated as a maze because it is for the start of the game. So, this is mine. Now, you might think, well, yeah, that looks a bit basic and not very good. And it's because it's not finished at the minute. This is still a work in progress, obviously. I haven't entirely decided on its final look, but it's getting there. So I like this bit here, which has got the extra trees in to make it seem like more of a dense area of the forest. Although, in fairness, you could just narrow it down, but then you've got less visuals on the screen, so once again, it's up to your own preferred judgment on that. But there's stuff, for example, in here, which is in the sample map, which you can take and then use in yours. So, for example, I can't remember what bit it was. I think it might have been this bit of grass that I liked, because I like the fact that it's got the flowers on it. It's already done. And that's something that I can, just straight drop in there in my map. And it looks nice. And that's a way you can work around doing it. You can either make your map from scratch and add bits in from some of the sample maps, or you can take a sample map and completely remodel it. But, it keeps the parts in there that you want to keep. That was a good way, I think, of starting off if you're going to go into map design, and it's really helpful. And the other great thing about it is, as well, if you're adding your own custom tile sets in, then you can replace over the where they're placed in the sample map, and therefore makes your game look a bit more unique as well, while also, allowing you to not have to worry about every specific detail like bordering and things like that. So that would be my first bit of advice for you if you're planning on doing maps, and map design. I'm not the most creative person when it comes to this, but I think so far it's looking okay. I will have to make changes to it, but it's definitely functional at the minute, and it's got some branching paths as well, which will have maybe a chest at the end of one of them. So they're the sort of things you have to think about, as well as where to place interactive items. So where you're planning on putting events, for example. But the great thing about it is you can edit it whenever you want to, and it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Because you can just easily edit it. Let me save. And it's like, for example, if I wanted to make more space in my forest, okay, yes, I'd have to put in tree line and everything, but I could just have a branching path here. Why not? I'm not going to, because I'm not going to save over this, but it's as simple as that. If you want another path going in there, there it is there. Done. Ready. Obviously that's not ready. You'd have to fiddle around with it and make sure it's got the right stuff in so that it looks correct, but that's the sort of thing you can do. See, that I could just do this. One of the things I'm planning on doing is I'll probably do some videos when I actually get around to doing other maps, and basically just be able to show you how to do, how you would do a similar sort of thing. So this works in the same way as a dungeon. Oh, that's another thing I've got to say. You can also generate your own dungeons as well. Make sure that you pick the right tile set. For example, this is like an interior one. So you've got tent, which is the tent map, and I think that's the tent. No, that's the tent floor. And then it will generate you a random tent. Oh my god, that's terrible. That is terrible. But it does it like a dungeon, so it doesn't have the. As you can see, this has got the black bordering. Before, when it's done like that, it's to have the roof of the dungeon. So you have to bear that in mind when using the dungeon creators. You should use it really just for dungeons, and always make your map a lot bigger if you're going to use a dungeon creator. And you can always shorten bits off and increase it in complexity, because the dungeon creator does put it into very square boxes. There's something else you have to realise with that as well. But hopefully that will be of some help to people, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas on what you can do for your own maps. Of course, maps made from scratch can be just as good, whereas one that I've made from scratch that doesn't look rubbish. Nope, I stole on that one. That's going to be changed anyway. I made that one from scratch. It's not amazing, but yeah. Which is the one I wanted to show you? No, this one. See, I made this one from scratch, and I'm fairly proud of it. Really, it's fairly easy thing to do because it's just a bridge, but it's that sort of stuff that you can do with it. And the thing I did with this is actually extended it to time with the event, and it wasn't that difficult to extend because I believe it started about here before. So, what you can do is go to map properties, increase the height of it, and that will then give you some more room to play with, and then you would just go. Obviously this is just extremely quick way of showing you. So this is what you would do if I was going to extend it further. And as you can see, it looks the part. Apart from, obviously, the event wouldn't work now because I've just extended it, but, that's the sort of thing you have to take into consideration when making your map and when making your events. You remember, both can be quite flexible. If you want it to be longer, then make it longer. It's not, the most difficult thing to do in the world. And then, of course, if I wanted to do that, I could do that. But, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Hopefully this has answered your question. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention who sent in the question. Let me find out. Puppy power. No. Dr. Sphinx. Yeah. So, you wanted to know about map making, interior, exterior. Yeah. Well, that would be this is what I would reckon would be the best way to start, editing the ones which are already in, and that will then give you an idea of how you can make your own maps, because they're good to go off. I mean, they're there for a reason. So, you know, do use them, do abuse them, I guess, and you know, there's nothing wrong with using them as a basis to make your own at all. I think it's probably the best way to go about it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully it's helped you. As I say, I'll be doing some more on map creating when I actually am creating specific maps, and I'll probably end up showing you the forest one again when it's done, and you can have a go at me because it's not very good. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.